Hello, everybody. All right, welcome to the Mikestand. Um, Today is Sunday, March 2nd, our first March show of 2025 here. Hope everybody's having a good evening tonight. Of course, a friendly reminder to everybody: if you guys can help out by liking and sharing the stream, see if we get some more friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and/or ask questions. Now, of course, before we get started here, hand it off to my co-host for the evening here, RJ Carter. Give him a chance to introduce himself, promote anything he may want to promote. I think you know the shtick, right, RJ?
Oh, yes, I know the shtick very well.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to hand it off to RJ for a moment. Then we'll talk about what's on tap for tonight after that. All right, RJ, the floor is yours.
Well, good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, and that's probably all I should say about that. I am the general manager at criticalblast.com, which is the parent company of Critical Blast Publishing LLC and Critical Blast Logistics LLC. If you are making books or selling books or crowdfunding books, you want to talk to us about one or three different things, I guarantee it. And we are here to help you succeed in your project.
Would you like to share any links or anything like that before we?
Just criticalblast.com is the place to go. You can find everything there. The tabs are easily laid out. Just pick where you need to get some expertise from, or just hit us up on x.com at criticalblast.
All right. So, anything more you'd like to say before we get started?
Not a thing. The more I say, the more I cough.
All right. All right. So I'll of course have you do the narration, and then of course Batman, because we're going to be doing the Batman story first. So so let's get into this. So tonight, as I said, we're going to be starting our May of 1940 coverage. We're going to be looking at comics that went on sale from DC in May of 1940. We're going to be looking at Detective Comics number 40 to start off. But before we do get into the readings, of course, I'm going to do some intros. As in May of 1940, we had debuts including the first Clayface, Basil Carlo. Congo Bill made his debut. We actually get an adventure from El Castigo, the first whip, predating Rod Gaynor. We also will say hi to Dr. Sneg, one of our man's recurring enemies. And of course,
Dr. Snake?
Dr. Sneg, S-N-E.
Sneg.
Yeah. And of course, Green Lantern Alan Scott. So, with that being said, why don't we get started with the intros here? Let me pull that screen up here. All right, so there we go with that. So let me first talk about Basil Carlo, Clayface. Yeah. Only thing is, they only have the RT. Now, just so everybody understands, when he originally was introduced back in 1940, he did not have superpowers. He was just he was basically an actor. We'll get into the story aspect of it. He eventually did become part of the Mud Pack. So, in terms of powers and abilities and all that, we're going to focus more on his earlier stuff. His ability, he was an actor. People would say mental disorder, and then we'll look at the notes here. Basil Carlo was introduced during the Golden Age era of publication, which set Earth 2 as the universe in which the Golden Age characters' stories took place. However, his origin and early history remained unchanged until the modern age of comics, after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. For this reason, it is safe to assume that the Clayface featured in the original Golden Age stories is the same character, the modern age Clayface. Basil Carlo Clayface made 2 appearances in Earth 1 continuity in Batman number 208, which retells in flashback his origin from Detective Comics number 40 and Detective Comics number 496. When he was killed, the latter event is not considered part of the character's history, as it contradicts his later appearances. In this issue, Carlo was committed to Arkham Asylum as deemed criminally insane. The character's name, Basil Carlo, was based upon famed horror actors Boris Karloff and Basil Rathbone.
Yes.
Bob Kane has also stated that he drew inspiration from the Phantom of the Opera as portrayed by Lon Chaney, and to develop the concept of Clayface. Clayface is immune to those. Now, this is after, so I'm not going to read as much about the stuff because we're not there yet. We're just focusing in on. Let's see. All right, so that's enough of the Clayface information for now. Obviously, this version of Clayface, he didn't develop powers until later, until New Earth. So, anyways, we're gonna now. I keep hearing an echo in there. Are you hearing an echo, RJ?
I'm not hearing one, but let me see if it's something I can do on my side. I've got echo cancellation turned on, so it should be coming to me. And my mic is pointing in the right direction, so yes.
All right. Hello, 1, 2, 3. RJ, can you speak now?
I can speak now.
All right. All right. So, okay, it looks like the echo is. Looks like the echo might be gone there. So, all right. So let's move on to the next character then. William Glenn Morgan, better known as Congo Bill. We'll get to his powers and abilities and all that. Let's see that. And
He was another one of those body switchers.
Who is another one of those body switchers?
Congo Bill.
Oh yeah, he was the one who eventually he became known as Congo Gorilla, but initially he was simply an adventurer in like abilities here for his first appearance here in More Fun Comics number 56. So aviation, Bill flew biplanes in World War I and scouting planes during World War II. So I'm approximating his age when he made his appearance here in May of 1940 to be about 40, 42, based on what I could figure. Hand-to-hand combat, Congo Bill is repeatedly shown to be an excellent brawler, jiu-jitsu. Bill has demonstrated the ability to use Japanese-style jiu-jitsu in combat. Hunting, Bill is a safari hunter, hunting wildlife for food as well as trophies. Seamanship, basically your classic, kind of, even though he's from America, he's kind of your classic, like, English huntsman kind of character.
Commander McBragg.
Yeah. Seamanship, Bill is a qualified navigator, ship's engineer, and deep sea diver. Stealth, Bill can creep forward. I'm gonna leave the studio for a moment and come back.
Okay.
Because I'm still hearing bit of an echo there, so I'm going to just see if maybe that will help. I'll be right back.
All right. And we will be right here waiting for Mike to return. And hopefully that will happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it will not. So, since Mike is gone, I will just reach down here and show you that one of the things that Critical Blast Publishing is putting out these days, that if you were backing the campaign, you will be receiving shortly, is the hardcover of Monster MD, the full dose, all in color and numbered and signed and autographed. So you will have a collectible book. And Mike is back.
All right, so let's see what's happening now. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
4 5 6 7. 4 5 6 7.
Hello, hello, hello. All right, so
Hello, hello, hello.
I think that pretty much helped. All right, so let's get back to learning a little bit more about Congo Bill here. See what other things is. We said seamanship. Bill is a qualified navigator, ship's engineer, deep sea diver, stealth. Bill can creep forward with cat-like tread, sneaking up on villains without them even knowing. Survival. Bill routinely adventures into the African wilderness as its deepest jungles with only a pack on his back. Tracking. Bill tracks missing persons as well as criminals through the dense jungles and always manages to find them. Multilingualism, even as Congo Girl can speak German and Japanese as well as English, and he is fluent in Bantu and several other African languages. Let's see, equipment. Where that's more for Congo guerrilla stuff. Notes. Let's see and this is a typical note that is with all of these that they put in here. Basically, his stories originated, during the Golden Age, and therefore may have been retcon. Let's read the thing as it is. Although this character was, did you just say something, RJ?
I said nothing.
Okay. Although this character was originally introduced during DC's Earth 2 era publication, their existence following the events of the 1985-86 limited series Crisis on Infinite Earths remains intact. However, some elements of the character's pre-crisis history may have been altered or removed for post-crisis New Earth and no longer apply. So that's kind of the disclaimer they put every time for these characters. And of course, Congo Bill was adapted into a movie serial in 1948. Let's see. And aside from his time as a combat pilot veteran of World War I, most of this other stuff I think doesn't apply till later. So there we go, that one. So let's move on to Dr. Sneg here of Earth 2. Dr. Sneg clashed twice with Our Man using completely different methods each time. So let's look at his power and ability here. Alchemy. Dr. Sneg developed a reviving fluid that could bring life to wax figures, which he was then able to order around. Chemistry. Sneg invented plastic skin and used it to modify his artificially animated mannequins. Gadgetry. He also created the artificial heart for animating these monsters. Hypnosis. He could compel a person to perform complex and dangerous behaviors over a long period of time. Other characteristics: insanity. He was basically and he was an enemy of Our Man. All right, so there we go. And and as other one more little note for everybody to know too. Our man had a number of doctors as part of his rogues guide. Dr. Sneg was one of them. You had Dr. Eicher, Dr. Tug, a few of them. We'll talk more about those though when they come up. So, but this time we're looking at Dr. Sneg here. All right. So let me just get something here because it says only one viewer. So, actually, I should have asked you if you still wanted to do the reading or not. I just assumed you did.
No, I will try it.
All right. And a friendly reminder to everybody, if you guys can like and share this thing, see if we can get some more friendly people here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the question to the best of my ability. So. All right, so with that, let's move on to the next character we're going to look at real quick. We'll look at El Castigo, then we'll look at now for those of you who may not know, the El Castigo is Spanish for the whip. He was the precursor to Rodney Gaynor, as we said. El Castigo was a legendary 19th century mystery man in the town of Segura, Mexico. And again, just the simple fact that he was, character. We'll be reading a story featuring him tonight. That's why. And finally, Alan Scott. All right. I guess New Earth. All right, so we'll be reading his biography and all that. The powers, decelerated aging, of course, which was effects of battle with Ian Karko later. Starheart empowerment. Alan controls the mystical power of the Starheart, and artificial an artifact created by the Guardians of the Universe. Okay, so energy constructs. Unlike the power batteries in Earth 1 that the Green Lanterns use on Earth 1, his Alan Scott's ring and lantern were fashioned, and we'll see that in the origin story today, were fashioned from the Starheart, which was basically energy construct, energy projection, enhanced senses, flight, force field, hypnosis, immortality, interstellar travel.
And the Starheart and the Green Lantern core batteries were related. There was a story tied them together.
Later,
right? It was magic. No, I mean it was retconned. The Guardians basically, when they established the battery, had to do something about magic. So they basically ejected magic from their rules of order, and it got shifted over to Earth 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's see: immortality, interstellar travel, invisibility, phasing, photokinesis, superhuman strength, teleportation, abilities. Alan, of course, electrical engineering, Described as an excellent engineer, he worked as both a radio engineer and repairman before becoming a superhero. Martial arts. Before becoming a superhero, he took martial arts classes. He applies what he learns in almost every adventure and was trained further by Wildcat, who we'll talk about later when we get to him. Business management, owner of his own communications company, and president of Gotham's broadcasting stations. Indomitable will, multilingualism. He speaks Latin, acting, journalism, master of ceremonies, writing, a troubleshooter, program direction, and driving. The one weakness that his ring has, and this is one of the main differences between Earth 2 and Earth 1, is that in his case, his ring does not work on wood. The energy is ineffective against wood items made of wood. Items made of wood cannot be lifted or broken by the energy from the ring, nor can barriers of emerald energy stop projections crafted from wood. So it's kind of funny because there was a Justice League Unlimited episode I remember when they had the pastiche to the original Justice Society,
right?
Where
Justice Guild,
where their Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Flash, and Hawkgirl basically went over to what was believed the Green Guardsman, who was voiced by William Catt, also known for his role as on The Greatest American Hero as Ralph. They had mocked how in that show they even gave him an even lamer weakness that his ring couldn't work on aluminum. So, but with that being said, let's see if there's anything. Let's see other characteristics. Well, that's later. Starheart Lantern, a highly indestructible, paraphernalia. Starheart Lantern, highly indestructible lantern, which acted as an energy source for his powers. The Starheart Power Ring was his main weapon. So, so in the Earth 2 version of Scott, the Starheart was from the universe of Earth 1, which you just talked about, RJ, there.
Yep.
Alan Scott was supposedly born in Metropolis. He was originally given the middle name Wellington in All American Comics number 38, which was also used in the Who's Who. In the beginning, Alan lived in Capital City. Seemingly, he moved to Gotham City along with Doiby Dickles behind the scenes before Green Lantern number 14. He was a graduate of Hale University. And in 1947, Green Lantern was a member of the Gotham City's Analyst Club. So with that, now we got all the intros out of the way. So this is going to be the order we're going to go in tonight in terms of the reading. So we're going to start off with Detective Comics, Volume 1, number 40. That's the Batman story, The Murders of Clayface, followed up by Green Lantern's debut appearance in All American number 16, I believe. Then we're going to go to Flash number 7 and read through the Whip feature featuring El Castigo. Then we'll go over to the Hourman feature in All American, or not, I'm sorry, not Adventure Comics number 51. And then we'll be reading from both More Fun number 56 and 57, as it has kind of a two-part. The Congo Bill story with a recurring villain in both, but also we'll be reading the Dr. Fate story as well. Probably hit Dr. Fate first, kind of a continuation from the previous issue with Wotan. So that's kind of the lineup. So we'll see how much of it we can get through. I think I mentioned to you, I kind of slated this to be probably 3 hours with all the information we had to go through. So, but with that, let me go grab the first book here, so I can, and we will get to the readings pretty shortly. And a friendly reminder to everybody, especially now that we are going to be getting into the readings here. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some friendly people in here to engage. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything that we talk about tonight grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and we will try to answer the questions to the best of our ability.
It's a long way down to those double-digit numbers.
Yeah. Well, remember this is the original Detective Comics that ran for what, somewhat over like 900, 900 issues,
Oh, yeah.
1,000 issues. Oh yeah, there we go. There it is. Now here's another interesting little tidbit here. So you see the cover here. Well, you have the Joker featured on the cover, even though he was not in this story. From what I've heard, initially I think this was actually supposed to be the cover for Batman #1 or something. One of the issues where Joker was actually the feature, but for whatever reason they put it on here instead. So got Robin hanging on the hole there. So can you see all that, RJ?
I can see it. I've full screened the view, so let's do our best here. Batman with Robin the Boy Wonder. Again, the mighty Batman and that young, laughing Robin Hood of today, Robin the Boy Wonder, plunge deep into baffling mystery. Again, they fight a master of crime, a master of murder, a black-cloaked, hideous figure that menaces their very lives as he leaves behind a trail of corpses. Bruce Wayne speaks to young Dick Grayson, who is the only living person to know him as Batman. Yep.
So your fiance. Well, I'll be.
You're right.
I'll be Dick, and you can be Bruce. You can be Bruce Batman. And then I'll try to be Julie as well.
I misread the order of balloons.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it. I realized that I think in this case, Dick was speaking first there.
Yes.
Just how it was put. So, anyways, so your fiance is acting in the new horror picture. They're making over at Argos.
Yep. Julie is now a motion picture actress. I'm going over to the studio to meet her. The studio of Argus Motion Picture Company.
And this, Bruce, is Mr. Bentley, head of Argos Pictures.
How do you do?
Mr. Wayne, if Julie keeps up her
Fine.
her fine work, she she'll be a star in no time. I'm gonna see if I can see if maybe enlarging it might
The
help.
lettering is just fanciful. It's just
Yeah. Well, at least by looks like I may have. All right, that's better.
Okay.
I'm gonna go one more. Yeah, the lettering seemed a bit jammed together.
Yeah.
Mr. Kenneth Todd is the new star of the picture, Dread Castle. He plays the Terror. Years ago, in the old version, this role was played by the greatest character and makeup artist, Basil Carlo.
Did someone speak my name? Hello, Bentley.
Basil Carlo.
Just dropped in to wish this successor to my role good luck. Todd, I only hope you are as smart as I was foolish. Lots of luck to you.
Thank you, Carlo. I guess I'll never be as good a character actor as you were.
When Carlo leaves. Oh, that's Bruce Wayne speaking.
Yeah.
What did Carlo mean by that smart and foolish crack?
Oh, you remember how after he became a big star, he got into scrapes and did a lot of crazy things. He got a lot of bad bad publicity because of it. After the papers got through with him, people wouldn't go to see his pictures, even if they came away, even if they gave away prizes.
At that moment, look here, Bentley. What's the idea of stopping my directing on Dread Castle?
Ned Norton. So you finally showed up. You go out and disappear for days, and you want to know why? First, prove you can be relied on, and then perhaps I'll give you work.
So I'm fired, eh?
Looks like your typical mystery, kind of setting
Yeah,
up here,
everybody's
doesn't it?
all the characters are appearing on stage here, one at a time.
Yeah, it's almost like, well, we know this kind of a murder mystery kind of thing, kind of story. If I'm, you know, you know, not wanting to give too much away here, but we're seeing it kind of unfold, aren't we? When you say so, RJ.
Oh, yeah. I won't forget this, Bentley. I won't forget this. Remember, you'll never finish this picture without me. Bentley shows Bruce about the studio.
And there in the back is the set of Dread Castle. For the picture, I had a real castle built with a moat around it. No expense was spared.
Suddenly, the sound of angry voices reaches them.
We're through, Fred. We're
Wait.
through. Fred Walker through.
You might want to wait a second. You might not want to do that voice.
Oh, why?
Because that's a woman.
Oh, you think? Uh-huh.
I know.
Oh, do you think I should go ahead and kind of change my voice there?
You're
Then?
through, Fred Walker. Through, and that's final. You can't walk out on me now. What about our love?
Ah, okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, Tiff. Oh, actually, no, that's Bruce right there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Tiff.
That's Lorna Dane. Wow, they had a Lorna Dane long before Marvel there, huh?
Yep. Somebody was asleep at the copyright wheel when that came through.
Yeah. That's Lorna Dane, my star. She's getting rid of her sweetheart, Fred Walker. Just like she's rid herself of all her other sweethearts. The gold digger.
And none too gently either.
Our love? Ha ha! Don't make me laugh. Listen, Fred, you haven't had a role in months. I can't afford to let myself be tied to an actor that's slipping.
You vixen, I'd kill you. You don't deserve to live. Now
everybody's going to kill somebody.
That would not. He could not get away because even back then, people would have just simply thought, "Oh, he's mad. He doesn't really mean what he says." Nowadays, with as many people going off the deep end as where people take that more seriously nowadays than they did back then. Wouldn't you say so, RJ?
Oh, yeah.
Laughing at me, will you? When I get through with you, you won't laugh again, ever.
Later. Well, Mr. Bentley, it's been enjoyable, but it's growing late.
All right. Take Julie home. But be careful. She is valuable property to not only to me, but to you, huh? Huh? Now that would not go over well either today. Did you hear how he described huh?
Yeah, he called her property. That would be bad.
I don't know. Carrie's in the other room or whatever, but how do you think she took that?
I do not ever speak for that woman. She has her own mind.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. I don't know if she wanted to say anything about that, if she was listening in or what have you. But
as they leave, a saturnine-looking man approaches Bentley.
Hiya, Bentley. Decided to accept my offer yet?
Roxy Brewer. Off, you gangster! Off the lot! I refuse to pay you protection money. Now get off before I call the police.
Okay, Bentley, it's your funeral, but don't blame me if anything happens to any of your stars. Nobody talked to Roxy Brenner like this. When I get through with you, you'll learn to keep your mouth shut. See you soon, Bentley.
Okay, so everybody there except for Julie Madison is off their nut.
Well, I mean, could you argue?
How is this picture getting made?
Huh?
How is this picture getting made? Later, the Wayne home. Something is going to happen out at the studio. There seems to be an aura of hate pervading the very atmosphere of the place. Yes, sir, something is going to happen. And soon. You think, Bruce?
That's like Captain Obvious, isn't it?
Yeah, good thing you're the world's greatest detective there, sir. A few days later, Bruce visits Julie on the set of Dread Castle. Let's see, that would be okay, Bruce, then Julius, then Lorna. Okay. Well, this is what I call big with capital letters.
Okay. When Argus makes a picture, it's always big.
They're going to shoot the scene now. This is where the terror is supposed to kill the Countess.
I thought that was pointing to Lorna, but that might have been pointing to Julie.
Yeah.
That's why I read it as Lorna.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. Well, first, the scan's not the greatest.
Yeah, and they laid it out bad. I'm sure that was Julie in conversation with them, so that would have been your read there. I'm sorry, but
All right. Well, they're going to shoot the scene now. This is where the terror is supposed to kill the Countess.
the cameras grind, and the murder scene of Dread Castle begins.
Prepare to die, Countess.
Ah, the terror!
But from the darkened corner of the set, a hideous face watches with baleful eyes. Fools, they play at murder, not realizing that I do not pretend, but shall in reality bring death. On the set, the players continue their acting, unaware of the grim and gruesome figure watching.
Now, Countess, die.
At that moment, again, a hairy hand reaches for the light switch. Now, Lorna Dane, die. Suddenly, darkness, an agonizing shriek.
The light. Who?
Stop the cameras!
Ah!
We're screened.
Someone get to the light switch.
A moment later, a man switches on the lights. There, on the floor. Someone switched off the lights and then stabbed her. From a safe distance, a ghastly figure grins diabolically. The scene is finished. Or death is the director. Since I know it's Boris Karloff, Basil Karlo, I'm doing the Boris Karloff voice for him. Though police investigate, at the end of a week, they are forced to report Lorna Dane murdered by person or persons unknown. Soon, a worried Julie visits Bruce.
I'd much rather be a vixen than property. YouTube user there. I guess that must have been her
Must be
response.
her. She's in the other room watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you already read both the narrations there? The one on the
I
left.
did. Waiting for Julie to jump in now.
Okay. And now the studio is going ahead with the picture, and in the next scene, I'm supposed to be killed by the terror. I'm afraid. Suppose.
Don't worry, dear. The murderer won't try for you. He just wanted to kill Lorna. As Julie leaves, I'm worried myself. Suppose Julie is right. Dick, put on your outfit. We're going out.
And the shadow almost looks like more like him in his Batman costume than anything else.
Yeah.
At least I think.
A moment later, Batman, the Dark Knight, and Robin, the Boy Wonder.
All set.
Let's go!
The gates of Argus Pictures.
It says no admittance, but that doesn't mean us, Robin.
Let's see, which...
Inside the studio.
Hey up, Bentley.
You said something would happen to my stars. You gangsters. Did you kill Lorna Dane?
Maybe. Better pay up the protection money or else you won't have any doubts.
What? I'm being attacked by an elf.
If you're looking for trouble, Bentley, why, say.
And actually, there's stuff on the top that I'm not seeing because it's scrolled off the screen.
Oh. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
Suddenly, hurtling through the air, Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder.
I think you're the one who's looking for trouble.
Yeah. Now I'm attacked by an elf.
If you're looking for trouble, Bentley, what say?
Like a Black Panther. Trademark lawyers at the ready. The Batman launches a deadly attack.
The stars aren't out tonight, but they will be.
And the gentleman gets a cigar.
Nice going, kid.
The courageous pair quickly rout the gangsters.
You guys never could fight without a gun.
Tisk tisk. A night cut a night a might cut yourself playing with knives. Okay. You might cut yourself playing with knives.
The Batman, he's poisoned. I'm getting out of here. Not leaving our nice little party so soon, are you, Roxy?
Oh,
Now talk, and talk fast. Did you kill Lorna Dane? No, I swear. I tried to cash in on the murder, figuring Bentley would pay up protection money faster. But I didn't kill her, I swear. All right, Rat, get going. And next time, don't come into the studio without an invitation.
What a man. Think I'll offer him a contract. Maybe to be the next action star, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Batman questions Bentley.
I'm going to clean up your mystery for you now that Roxy Brenner is out. Who else would want to kill Lorna Dane?
Fred Walker, her old sweetheart, or perhaps Ned Norton did it so we couldn't finish. So he could get even with me and stop the picture.
Robin, you stay here and keep your eyes open. I'm going to pay a visit to Fred Walker, Lorna Dane's jilted sweetheart.
Right.
Later, Batman clears the fence surrounding Walker's home. A passkey is used, and the door slowly opens.
Nobody home.
The Batman searches fruitlessly through the house. Then, in a final closet,
Good heavens, what's this?
hanging from the hook in the closet, is Fred Walker.
Help me.
Walker, what is it? What's happened? Walker, can you hear me? Who did this to you?
Clayface. He
Dead. Clayface, he said. Who is Clayface? Not Roxy Brenner. Certainly not this dead man. Can it be Ned Norton, the director? Or perhaps Ken Todd?
Meanwhile, what of Robin, who walks the deserted studio grounds? Suddenly, he spies light on Dread Castle.
Light. It seems I'm not the only one out tonight. Think I'll investigate.
But from high above, the boy is spied. The mysterious Clayface.
Someone is inquisitive, but not for long.
Robin enters the gloomy castle.
Gosh, what a spot for a murder. You think?
Yeah, that's what it was made for, man. Unaware of the lurking terror at the top, Robin ascends the long, winding staircase to the last tower.
Looks like my guest is walking his last mile.
Clayface leaps,
Hey!
but the agile Robin ducks, and the murderous Clayface goes hurtling over his shoulder.
I need no knife. I can kill you with my bare hands.
Wow, I'm in a spot.
As Robin steps back to avoid a clutching hand, he trips on the fallen lamp. Clumsy. And cracks his head against the wall. Clumsier. Oh, jeez. I'll drag this fool boy to the parapet and throw his body into the waters of the moat below. Ha!
Hold on,
That
hold
is
on,
the
just-
end. Yep, it's big
Uh,
long panel. Yeah. Ha! That is the end of you, my prying young friend.
But at that moment, the Batman who has returned sees the falling body.
That is Robin.
The Batman cleaves the water just as the body sinks. A few moments later,
Are you all right, kid?
I guess so. Wow, what hit me? Oh, now I remember. The monster up in the tower.
once more in the tower, but Clayface gone.
He's gone. Wonder what he was doing up here anyway.
Probably surveying the scene for his next murder. Clayface. I wonder if...
Next morning, in a dimly lit room, a man applies a grotesque makeup. Clayface.
Once more I don the garments of death. This morning Miss Julie begins her murder scene in Dread Castle. Perhaps it shall prove prophetic. Prophetic.
Some deranged individuals here, aren't there?
Yes, indeed.
You know, that's kind of funny how dark these comics were back in this time period.
Oh yeah.
On the set of Dread Castle, the cameras grind while Julie is unaware of impending danger.
Ah, the terror!
Die.
But up on the darkened catwalk, a ghastly figure raises his knife for the throw. Clayface.
Die, Julie.
But suddenly, a rope encircles the murderer's wrist.
May I cut in?
Then, with the speed of thought, a mighty tackle. Batman.
Yeah, my guess is you probably should have read that first, but
Yeah,
you know
really good.
how they sometimes do that with these back in the
Oh
day.
yeah.
Look, on the catwalk, the Batman.
Focus the cameras. Focus the cameras. The shots will be knockouts.
Clayface, fighting with the strength of a madman, suddenly unleashes a terrific blow.
Fool, no one shall take me alive.
The maniac leaps for a dangling rope.
That rope. Yes, the one we just mentioned.
But Clayface has reckoned without Robin, the boy wonder.
Here's where I get even with that guy. Oh, I'll bet you're surprised. Here's something I owe you.
A rope suddenly hisses through the air and jerks Clayface off his feet. The Batman has won the last trick.
Clayface, from now on, your name is Mud.
A few moments later,
now I'm going to show you the murderer of Lorna Dane and Fred Walker.
That makeup. I once saw it in one of my pictures. Clayface. It was played by
The Batman proceeds to remove the ghastly makeup from the horrible Clayface, whose real face belongs to...
It's Basil Carlo.
Right. You see, he hated you for using Todd in a remake of one of his old starring pictures. He wanted to stop the picture.
Julie speaking.
Oh, but why did he kill Lorna Dane and then try for me? Why didn't he kill Todd first?
He had played so many horror roles in pictures that they had taken possession of his mind and soul. He made up as Clayface, one of his old roles, and then followed the plot of Dread Castle and killed off each one as they died in the picture.
Oh, what a twist there.
He was following the script. Ah.
In the last reel, Todd as the Terror was supposed to die. That's when he intended to kill him. In this way, Basil Carlo would again be the real Terror. Once more, he would star. Fantastic, wasn't it?
He recognized... Oh, yeah. The butt is next.
But why did he kill Walker?
He recognized me in my Clayface disguise. When I got Lorna, he wanted to blackmail me, so I killed him. As for you, Batman, I'll get you yet.
Sensational. You two are sensational. I got you both in fight pictures. Stay with me, and you have a career in the movies.
Sorry, our careers are a constant battle against crime and evil.
They're what I call a pair of real heroes. And I don't mean real, R-E-E-L. No, hon. If only Bruce was so daring.
One of America's most outstanding adventure strips, The Amazing Batman, with his sensational aide, Robin the Boy Wonder, will again thrill you next month in Detective Comics with their daring exploits. Don't miss them.
All right, so there we go. We go with that one, the longest of the stories tonight at 12 pages. Of course, before we move it, the next one we'll do will be the Green Lantern story, which will be 8 pages. But before we head over there, overall impressions, RJ.
You know, it followed a lot of the old mystery movies at the time. Like, I could see this one being acted out as a Charlie Chan motion picture.
Yeah, Charlie Chan was very popular. I mean, I think even for a brief time there, Charlie Chan, he was even in the comics. I think Quality was doing a feature of his, if you remember, a while back. The scan was bad, but it was still good story there, good storytelling from Finger and Kane right there. With that, very interesting stuff, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, thanks to Bill Finger for all the work he put in on it.
Yeah,
God knows Bob Kane didn't do any.
All right, so with that being said, why don't we get ready to move on to the next feature we were just talking about, which is Green Lantern in All American number 16, volume 1, number 16. All right, I'm gonna go down a little bit here. Oh, that was a little too far, I think. Of course, back in the golden age here, they were doing a lot of these more anthology type, books here. So you want to read the cover right there?
Well, this was the classic one. Introducing the Green Lantern. Wasn't much to read, but there he is. The Green Lantern. Out in the Great West, a train makes a test crossing over a newly constructed trestle bridge.
And look who's writing that one. You see who the writer was on that one on the
Mart Dillon. Yeah, Mart Dillon and Bill Finger again.
Yeah.
And because it's a test crossing, we're going to put people in it. In the cab is Alan Scott, young engineer in charge of construction.
You
want to be the Green Lantern, and I'll take the guy on their side here?
Yeah.
I tell you, Scott, I'm worried Decker isn't one to take it lying down. He'll try something. He's dangerous.
Nonsense. Just because my company's bid to build this bridge was chosen by the government instead of Decker's is no reason for revenge. He won't try anything.
You fool! Suddenly, a deafening blast, and the train hurtles to certain destruction below. From the wreck rises a staggering figure, Alan Scott.
Dead, all dead. Yet, by some strange sort of miracle, I'm still alive. This lantern, I'm still holding on to it. What a queer light. Funny, I suddenly feel dizzy. Going to faint. Now, before I just want to mention something here, especially considering what happened. What was it, about a year or so ago? You notice how they use the word queer right there.
Yes.
Of course, we talked about it many times. How the use of the word queer back then was different from how they use it now. The only reason I wanted to bring that up is because if you remember about, what was it, a year or two ago, where they were trying to retcon Alan Scott being gay. You remember that?
Oh, he's still gay. In the last version I saw of him. So yeah, they'd retconned that about 5 years back.
Yeah. I knew something because I think I covered it as one of the stories I covered in the last few years here. So, anyways,
the eerie green light seems to swell in radiance, to flame with increased intensity. From within the aura of the green flame comes a voice, an ageless, toneless voice that penetrates into Scott's subconscious. I am the green flame of life. Listen, chosen one, and hear the tale of the Green Lantern. The tale of the Green Lantern. Many years ago in old China, while the people were at their evening prayers, they suddenly heard a great rushing noise and looked up to see a huge falling meteor. The meteor crashed, broke open, and there in the heart of the shell was a small pool of flaming liquid metal. To the awe-stricken people came a message from the strange green light. The flame, it speaks.
Listen.
It is from the evil one. 3 times shall I flame green, first to bring death, second to bring life, third to bring power. Abruptly, the flame went out. The metal began to cool.
Okay.
Look, Jane, the lamp maker goes to the flame.
It's bad. It will bring down the it's come just as the old book said it would. It's bad. It will bring down the wrath of the evil one.
Chang is the evil one, for he reads old volumes about sorcery. Look, Chang makes a lamp from the fire of the evil one.
Our village will suffer much should the gods be angry. We must rid ourselves of Chang and the lamp.
Death to Chang! Burn the evil books!
Die, demon!
Suddenly, from the lamp, an eerie green light. The green lamp!
Ah, flame!
The prophecy of the flame! 3 times shall I flame green, first to bring death. And they all died. Oh, lovely scan here.
Yeah, no kidding.
Stuff happened on the left. At last, one day, it appeared in America, outside an asylum for the insane. Joe, look at this curious old Chinese lamp. What a queer green color.
Let's give it to old Billings. He's a harmless old coot who makes lanterns out of metal. Um, he'd like the green lamp.
Taking the old Chinese lamp, the patient transforms it into a modern train lantern.
What a pretty green lantern! It will give a lovely light. A lovely green light.
As the wick flames, the light swells till it seems to fill every nook and cranny of the room.
What's happening? I feel so queer. And no, that doesn't mean he's feeling homosexual. It means he's feeling weird. All right, right, RJ.
Yeah, well, that's the language of the time.
Just so we all are, just so everybody knows.
Yep. 3 times shall I flame green, second to bring life.
Why? What am I doing here? I should be at my office. Where am I?
And out of the asylum walks a sane man to a new life. The lantern has fulfilled its second prophecy.
Now, before we read the conversation there, how would you say he fulfilled the second part of the prophecy here?
He gave the guy life. It was a new life. He was stuck. He was,
Right. He changed his life. He was locked in the asylum, basically, kind of mental, right? Having mental issues. But now he's got a brand new life, being cured of that mental illness, right?
Right. Okay. And now fate stretched out her long arm and brought the lantern to Alan Scott.
Oh wait. They were speaking. They were speaking before.
Oh.
Yeah. I just stopped before we did the speaking part to make that point. So I want to thank you for all you've done for me while I was here.
Forget about being here when you go out. Now you're going to lead a new existence, a new life. And now fate stretched out her long arm and brought the lantern to Alan Scott. You have heard the tale of the Green Lantern. Now to you I bring fulfillment of the prophecy third, to bring power, for I am the flame of life, green as are the plants, the growing things.
Yeah. Which the fact that they made allusion to growing things and the plants and all that, I think that goes into like why it's ineffective against wood, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I like how they said that, right? That prophecy third, right? Kind of an interesting way of saying it, as compared to how we might say it today.
Yoda's way of saying it.
Mm-hmm.
You who are to have this power, You must use it to end evil. The light of the Green Lantern must be shed over the dark evil things, for the dark evil things cannot stand light. Power shall be yours if you have faith in yourself. Lose that faith, and you lose the energetic power of the Green Lantern. For willpower is the flame of the Green Lantern. And there's the willpower part of it. That's what comes.
That's how they originally. That's how they originally did it.
Yeah.
To have the power, must I always carry the Green Lantern with me?
It would be well for you to utilize part to make a ring with my flame to renew its power. The ring must touch the Green Lantern once every 24 hours. With this last word, the light fades until only a constant flame is left in the wick. The Green Lantern, to shed light upon dark evil.
What a mad dream. Or was it a dream? Could it have really happened? Now, aside from that portion getting cut out a bit, this skin's at least is a bit better.
Yeah.
There's the lantern. Strange looking, funny. I never noticed that before.
Alan Scott is aware of a sudden surge of energy.
My body, when I touch the lamp, it glows with energy. I've never felt like this before. Then it was true. True. Thinking about the lantern made me forget about the wreck. All these men dead. Why? Jimmy, you said Decker might try something, that he wanted the bid to build this bridge. Now he'll get his wish. If Decker signs his name to the transaction, he won't be signing in ink, but in blood. The blood of these broken bodies. Wow, nice nice dialogue there.
Bit melodramatic there. Oh, and here we go.
And we get a cut portion of it cut out. Do your best to try to get what you can out of it.
Somebody put this in a spiral notebook. Well, it's up to you. You're the one who's... Oh, wait. No, it is me there. Dazed, shocked, Alan reels homeward, a mad light in his eyes, revenge in his heart.
I'll get you, Decker. I'll get you. The Green Lantern will help me. The Green Lantern.
His tortured, feverish mind sets nimble fingers to work.
A ring. The Green Lantern said to make a ring. A ring made of part of its metal with the green flame.
At last, the emblem of a mighty scourge of evil.
That would last for like the next 85 years to this day, right?
Yeah. Cold sanity replaces the crazed look as the ring slips on his finger.
Why I must have been mad. I wanted to kill a man, Decker. No. I must fight him another way. The power of the ring. I must try it out. I'd like to.
Abruptly, Alan's body streaks with the speed of light in which it was enveloped.
What? I wished I could fly to Decker, and I'm doing it. The Green Lantern said all I needed was willpower. Did Carrie just say something in the background there, RJ?
No. Nobody say anything. The dog yawned.
Okay, I thought I heard something there. That's why I was asking. Decker's place. Wonder if I have the power of going through the fourth dimension. To be able to go through objects, I'll try it. Wow, so he's already thinking about phasing.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, he's got quite a bright mind, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like a phantom, Alan's figure begins to fade through the wall and out of sight.
You boys did a sweet job in blowing up the bridge. Now the government will take my bid. I'll make some nice dough on the deal. Yes, sir, nice dough.
Boss, look, a green light coming through the wall.
What?
What?
A wraith-like figure begins to form.
Look, there's somebody in the light.
A ghost. That's what it is. A ghost.
It looks like Alan Scott, the engineer. He should be dead in the wreck. It's a ghost.
Fools. He's no ghost. It's a trick. Shoot him.
This'll fix you. He didn't fall. He ain't human.
He must be wearing a bulletproof vest. Club him down.
Oddly enough, the steel knife has no effect upon Alan's body.
Huh? It broke.
But it is the wooden club which downs him.
That got him. Curious. Lead bullets and steel knives don't get me, but wood does. Guess I'm only immune to metals. I also seem to possess only my normal strength. However, that was good enough before, so I guess it will do me in the future. Hey, buddy.
I'm getting out of here.
Right behind you. Don't run away, boys. Let's play some more. Now I'm going to work on you, Decker.
Now, don't be hasty. I'll give you money. I'll be your friend.
Okay, chum. Just to show you how much I value our friendship, I'm going to take you for a little ride.
Oh. Out and up over the ground hurtles the streaking figures.
How do you like the view, Decker?
Fine.
Decker, take a last look at the sky, because when I drop you, you won't see anything again, ever.
Don't. I'll confess. I did it. I'll make good your company's loss. Don't drop me, please.
That's it, Decker. A nice, full confession is good for the soul.
I'm signing. Ugh.
Dead. The shock was too much for him. He's paid for the lives lost in the wreck. So what do you think happened right there?
Oh, his heart gave out from being hauled through the air. But it wasn't Green Lantern's fault.
Heart attack, right? Cardiac arrest. So, somehow I feel as if destiny has taken hold of my life. That this is only the beginning. that I must continue to fight against evil. There's far
In
less.
his sanctum, yeah, in his sanctum, Alan prepares for a new career.
If I must fight evil, if I must fight evil beings, I must make myself a dreaded figure. I must have a costume that is so bizarre that once I'm seen, I will never be forgotten. That kind of sounds like well, we know who wrote this, but
Yeah,
doesn't that sound, what does that sound like to you?
sounds like Batman to me.
Uh-huh. Like the criminals are a
Superstitious and cowardly lot. A superstitious and cowardly lot. They plot and they plot, but they always get caught.
Mhm. And I shall shed my light over dark evil, for the dark things cannot stand the light of the Green Lantern.
The man who suddenly appears out of nothingness whenever and wherever there is a wrong to be righted. The Green Lantern. Follow his weird and exciting adventures in the next issue of All American Comics.
All right, so with that story done, overall impressions.
It was an intricate plot, but it was basically straightforward. He had a magic lantern. What it was doing on the train, that's gonna be another story sometime.
Yeah. So the green flame burned 3 times. Once to bring death, once to bring life, and once to bring power.
Yep.
Pretty interesting there in that. Alrighty then, so let's get ready to move on to the next story, which will be El Castigo. And yes, we're at hour 22 right here, but as I said, we're gonna probably stretch it to 3 hours, considering how much we want to try to get through here. El Castigo and Flash, Volume 1, Issue 7. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that when I was going over these, some of these were pretty bad scan wise. So trying to do the best we can with them. There's the Flash right there. A couple other books that came out around this time too were All-Star Comics #1, which initially started out as kind of a super anthology before becoming like a team-up book.
Right.
And then Superman #5, which one of the features in there was, of course, there. I'm guessing the one in red there, that's a witch who was an archenemy of King Standish, one of the lesser-known heroes of. But they had a very interesting dynamic to their relationship. Even though they were arch enemies, there were also love interests in those stories. There's the Hawkman. There's Johnny Thunder. Some of those stories are pretty fun to read too. Johnny Thunder, kind of the happenstance hero kind of guy.
Yeah.
There we go. There's the whip.
Do. 400 years. The Whip by John B. Wentworth and Homer Fleming. 400 years ago, the Spanish conquistadores landed in Mexico in search of the 7 cities of Cibola. Supposed to be fabulous in wealth, they found the Indians, some of them shooting arrows tipped with gold. They found the Aztec Montezuma reigning over a veritable kingdom of gold and precious stones. They found mines of their own. They made slaves of the Indians to work their mines. Arriba,
Prezoso Indio.
Some say their gold to the mother country. Some shipped their gold to the mother country in great gleaming galleons that towered in the sun. Some settled in Mexico and the lands to the north, where now there are Texas and New Mexico, Arizona and California. Then, in 1836, Texas rebelled against Mexico.
Remember the Alamo.
Texas for the Texans.
Remember Davy Crockett.
In 1945, the Republic of Texas was admitted to the Union. No, in 1845, Republic. I was like, wow, really? The Republic of Texas was admitted to the Union as the Lone Star State, and the Spanish patricians who had stayed behind now fled the country.
Vámonos.
Among those who fled was Don Basilio Seldon Calamango Martinez, lord of the vast possessions, including the renowned San Crespo mine.
Adelante, amigos. Pronto. Por Dios, pronto.
Don Basilio hid the entrance to his mine by caving it in. He loaded his carretas with the gold and set out for Mexico. En route, the treasure train was attacked by a roving band of robbers.
All right. Now, before, because we're saying kind of an offensive term here, so let me, of course, give this disclaimer. This was how they talked during the time.
Yep.
Is no reflection on us here. Okay, the way they talked here was inappropriate then. It's inappropriate now. So
they condensed the word Hispanic into something short.
Right, but we're gonna say it, but only because it's part of the story. All right, no reflection on any animosity or anything like that.
Get them spicks.
Never mind the spit. Get the gold.
There's enough gold here to make every man jack of us rich.
Right.
We can't take it with us though. Stuff's too heavy. Load your saddlebags. We'll bury the rest and make a chart of the cash. Then when we run out of money, we can always come back for more.
Sounds smart.
Yeah, maybe, but after the robbers buried their hull and made their chart, the band was set upon by Comanches on the warpath. There's always somebody else ready to fight you.
Scatter!
It's an ambush, boys.
Everybody for himself.
Out of the ensuing massacre, only one robber got away.
That'll take care of you painted devil.
Early next morning. Hey, Sari, get the spare room ready. There's a hombre out here hurt bad. Easy now, stranger. That wound has closed itself a mite. We don't want her to reopen her.
You can't, ugh. Don't let me die without I tell you, good people, something insanity important,
Mighty important.
Mighty important.
Shucks now, stranger. You ain't going to die. A month goes by and the robber is ready to ride away.
if ever you folks in real bad need, I want you to call on me.
Reckon we can take care of ourselves, feller. Not that we don't appreciate your offer.
I've left our sign hid around this place for you. I know you're too proud to take pay for what you done for me, but figured I'd leave a token of my gratitude. Adios.
Less than 6 months later, in a saloon way up north in St. Louis.
See this gold? There's more where that came from, and I'm the only one that knows how to get it.
He must have a cache of gold somewhere about. If he's got it cached, he must have a map to show how to find it.
That ought to be easy to get at.
That night, when the robber has left the saloon,
There he goes. Like reckon we'd ought to just tag along.
And see if he can't be persuaded to part with that there treasure map, eh?
on a lonely stretch of road,
Lift them up. Unless you crave a ventilating with lead bullets. This is the first time I ever heard of a couple of road agents holding up a road agent. You figure I got something worth taking?
The charts of that treasure you've been bragging about all evening, loudmouth.
I'll give it to you. It certainly ain't worth dying to keep. I got it right here in my Levi's pocket.
but the robber goes for his gun instead of the chart.
Now you sidewinding hellions. We can all talk this same language.
That's dandy, partner. I can understand that way it be talking.
You'll never get that chart. Bang!
No. No.
Hot while I can chew and not while I can chew and swallow his chart. You won't.
Give it here.
The robber dies before he can chew the whole chart to bits. Ike, the road agent, takes what is left, figuring that he can put it back together somehow. Some years pass. Hard times hit Jim and Sari Shiner. I don't know what we're going to do, Sari. There just ain't no good market for cattle no more. Seems like they ought to be able something we could do. When suddenly, through the window,
Howdy, folks. Be you Jim and Sari Shiner?
Yep. Light down and come on in, feller.
I got a fair and honest proposition to make you two.
You want to buy some cattle, maybe? Everybody just came together in this scene now.
No, nothing like that. It's got to do with treasure. A cache of gold so big it'll make your head swim.
Gold? But before the highwaymen can trick the Shiners into telling what they know of the cache, there's a clatter of hooves in the yard outside. Hola, amigo. Yeah, there you go. Take that one. Give me a break here.
This is a holdup. You've come to the wrong place.
We're more poor than church mice.
You only think you're poor. This masked hombre knows about the gold you've got. That's what.
Gold? You're crazy as a coot. Well, the newcomer is wary.
Before El Castigo would walk into such a trap, he will send first the Weep to see the coast is clear. So the Weep, she's feeling something's good, eh?
What the? Come back here with that.
What can welcome ease these? What can welcome ease these? You give El Castigo with the gone.
Blast you.
El Castigo.
And for those of you who don't know, El Castigo is the Spanish word for whip, the whip. Just
Okay.
you do the dance for El Castigo. You do the quick whirl around. Oh no.
You'll live to wish you hadn't done this to me, Castigo.
You and I, we go for the long walk now. See?
Consarn you.
Late that afternoon, nearly at sundown.
Bueno, we have reached now the county line. You go that way and keep going. If you know what is good for you, understand? And I don't want to pin you in these neck of, and I don't want you in these neck of the woods again. Not ever.
Ow, 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 ow.
Imagine running away and having a guy whipping you from behind like that. That's
That stings.
yeah.
Meanwhile, at the home of Sari and Jim Shiner. I don't know, Jim. Who is this El Castigo? Why should you let him treat a fella that way? After all, he ain't done us any harm. If it had been anybody but El Castigo, Sari, I might have interfered. But El Castigo, well, if he done it, Sari, it's just I trust him. Some call him El Castigo. Some call him the Whip. He got a big heart for them as runs into tough luck. Somehow he figured we never knowed exactly what we was doing, so he interfered. A short while after sundown, El Castigo rides back.
If that hombre that I drive away should return, amigo, Jim, shoot him on sight. Wherever he goes, men die of treachery. And if there is something to do with treasure around your house, find him,
Fine.
find him, find him right away. These hombres is on your trail, for it there will be more.
Thanks, Senor Whip. Suddenly, the words of the stranger he befriended so long ago come back to Jim. I've left something hid around this place for you, a token of gratitude. Sari, I wonder if that hombre you nursed back to life really meant it, about leaving something for us. I reckon he did, Jim. We better have a look around. For days, the Shiners searched their poor little ranch without any luck. Then, one day, just as the setting sun strikes in through the window, Jim, come here quick. I found it. Look up at that ceiling, Jim Shiner. An arrow and a sign for gold. Where's the sign for gold? I see the arrow. Whip was right. He was right. We've got it. There's an arrow in the ceiling, and you're calling yourself rich. Okay. Oh, Jim, we're rich. We're rich, and our children will be rich after us. Easy, Sari. The whip warned us to tread careful. You never know what may be in store for you when it's dead men's gold you're after. Even at that moment, outside the house, the whip thinks Jim Shiner's. Oh, who's that guy? Okay, so another guy's not the same guy I got driven off. You take him.
All right. If the whip thinks Jim Shiner's got something worth protecting, it must be worth a risk to get it, and it's got to be that treasure map.
Read the amazing story of Dead Men's Gold and El Castigo the Whip in the next issue of Flash Comics.
All right. So before we go on, overall impressions, RJ?
That was a decent story. It's criminals and more criminals, and just the innocent couple going to get stuck with all this gold.
And it seems like and it does seem like they're setting it up as a continuing story. I think it will probably continue in the next issue as well. Yeah. I do need to step away from the computer for a moment. So if you can, if you want to promote anything, share any links while I'm gone, talk to chat. And I think you kind of know where I'm going with that.
Do we have a chat?
Yeah. Well, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'm looking out of the chat just to see if we've had any comments tonight, other than YouTube user. It's pretty darn quiet out there, which is a shame because we've actually had some pretty good stories in here tonight. DC Comics, not too surprised about that. That's the reason they stuck around for so long was because they had some good stories that stood the test of time. We've seen, the Green Lantern. We've seen Batman. Now we've seen the Whip. The Whip, while you might not have heard of him, did stick around for a little bit of time. In fact, you might even recall he had a bit part in a song by the Statler brothers when, they talked about whatever happened to Randolph Scott. They talked about the Whip and the county fair. So, they were talking about all these different comic book and movie screen characters in that song. Other than that, no, it's we are 3 down, 2 to go, and Mike thought this would stretch into 3 hours. We started at 7. It's 8:43. It's an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. We're not gonna go 3. We'll speed. You're gonna hear an auctioneer out of me now for the next 2 stories, but we'll get the next 2 stories out of the way, and then we will move into our fan favorite section of every show, which is Today in Niche History, and see what Mike has dug up for us to talk about S4 events that happened on March the 2nd in several different yesteryears. And with that, we should expect Mike to return shortly. I do not have anything else to talk about. No new projects to promote at this time.
All right, I'm back. So,
all right, you're back.
So you ready for the Hour Man story? Will be next year. So we just, of course, it's going to take me a while because the Whip was one of the last stories of this. But you notice, and I explained this to you before. You notice how I start with a story with the most page count, and then just go in like descending order, basically. So,
yeah.
It's basically because it's a lot easier to get through the longer stories at the beginning when you have a little bit more energy. So it's like 12, 8, and 7 thus far, and then the last 4 that we're going to do all 6 pages each. So Hour Man, then we'll do Dr. Fate, and then we'll finish off with basically both Congo Bill stories from 56 and 57. Of course, the Dr. Fate story will also be in more fun 56. So, but right now, we're going to head over to Adventure Comics number 51 and go through the Hour Man story. What do you think of the What do you think of the story selection thus far? From what we've
All the
read?
stories have been complex, as in, they weren't just, let's just have something happen to move the panels forward. Like, oh, but then a rock hit him in the head and knocked him out. What luck for us?
Do you mean
Um,
as compared to some of the other companies that were writing comics at the time?
yeah. Like, some of the other books we've gone through where things just sort of happen because they happen.
Hmm.
Um,
Like they
the
were
Whip was
throwing
probably,
stuff at the wall, seeing what stuck, right?
yeah, exactly. Oh, how's the hero going to get out of this? I don't know. Maybe lightning strikes the guy. Okay. Especially when they have a magic user. Now I will turn you into a cat.
All right. Actually, maybe
What are we looking for here? Adventure. Oh
adventure
yeah,
comic,
that's what you a single adventure.
right? I realize that. And we're going to issue 51 here. Another one. This one ran for like 500 issues.
Oh yeah, Legion of Superheroes was born out of this. Superboy and the Legion was part of Adventure Comics for many a year.
Well, it's funny because when these books first came out, like Adventure and More Fun, right? Those two books.
Yep.
Initially they were mixed books. You had at first you had like Conga Bill and Superboy in More Fun, and then you had some humor stuff mixed in with the stuff with adventure. But then what they did at one point, I think it was sometime after World War II, they put all the superhero stuff into adventure comics and took all the like hero stuff, all not the hero, but all the humor stuff, and put that all over in More Fun. There's a huge switch between the two comics on some of the features. Anyways, there's adventure comics. Part of it is this one's a little darker too, so you got the Sandman on the cover.
Yeah. Right at the beginning of the book too.
Huh?
Well done. Right at the beginning of the book too. Don't have to search for that one. Expand my screen out a bit, and
Well, I'm enlarging it on my end too, just so that in the hopes that
is
marginally better.
yeah, this one's going to be a challenge. All right. Presenting TikTok Tyler, the man of the hour, as the Hour Man by Bernard Bailey.
And as I recall, Bernard Bailey was also the guy who wrote Tex Thompson too.
Right. Who is he? What will he do next? Such are the questions people are asking as the fame of TikTok Tyler, the Hour Man, spreads throughout the nation. So his secret identity is like screwed. Knight at arms for the underprivileged, puzzle of the police, scourge of the underworld, the Hour Man maintains his anonymity. What? Lest his secret be discovered. None must know that his remarkable powers are due to his discovery of Miraclo, a chemical that, when taken, makes him ultra-human for just 1 hour, after which he becomes the meek, mild chemist he really is. Our story begins at Silo's Wax Museum, where a sinister figure studies an interesting exhibit. Yeah, I mean, if your power only lasts for an hour, maybe not make that part of your name. Alvin Curtis and the two-gun Carmody in their death duel with the G-Men.
Even their faces inspire fear. I could terrorize society with two. I could. Oh wait. No, let me try this again. Even their faces inspire fear. I could terrorize society with two killers, like that. I wonder.
That evening,
Take them into the car and be careful. Now, with my artificial heart and plastic skin, I'll make these men live and do my bidding.
hours later,
I am the master. I created you, and I can destroy you.
we understand. We will do your bidding. A week later, something's in the police commissioner's office. Those witnesses told my paper that
I know that those. Hold on, let me try one more. Let's
you ain't gonna brighten it up any.
Yeah. And so I'm now this is totally maxed out here.
Yeah, but the contrast is still, you can't.
Yeah, as much as I wanted to read this because it was like a debut of a villain,
Yeah.
I think we should probably just move on to the next story.
I think we should move on. Who's in slot number 5?
Well, we're going to be going over to more fun comics, so we'll be doing Dr. Fate and then the two-parter from More Fun. Sorry about that, RJ. I thought
That's okay.
It's like
That was straining my eyeballs.
yeah.
Hey, Maya. You sleepy puppy.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna read the we're gonna read the Dr. Fate story first in 56, and then we'll move on. Then we'll do the because we're gonna read the Congo Bill from both 56 and 57 because they're kind of a connecting story with him battling the skull, with Congo Bill battling the skull in the African jungle. So, but we'll start off with the Dr. Fate story first. And you see on the cover there, got Dr. Fate, Wotan, and I believe that's in. Now, here's the thing. Inza was originally a redhead in the comics, right? And I don't know if you did see the Justice League Unlimited series in the 2000s.
Oh yeah, I saw it,
but they made her seem more like she might have been like maybe Indian or Middle Eastern or something like that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, that cover is brighter than the one.
They found a better cover to attach to it.
Yeah. This one's better. Radio Squad. Radio Squad was another Siegel Schuster feature, focusing on 2 beat cops. And as they always did, and here's the Congo Bill story. We'll come back to that. Did Sergeant Carey there? Redcoat Patrol. And you notice back in these days, the adventure story that they did have a lot of superhero, but they had quite a bit of other stuff too.
Oh yeah. Okay, Dr. Fate. Having thrown Wotan the wizard from a tall building, apparently to his death, Dr. Fate tells Inza, his beautiful accomplice, that he must search in the dark regions for Wotan's soul to prove he really is dead.
Dark Soul, wow. Are you willing to face these gods of Eld, the fairy Baal, the fiery Baal, cruel Moloch, to save the world from Wotan? With you, I dare anything, Dr. Fate.
Like a black cloud,
Fate
passes from the world of men. Looks like rain.
A terrible storm is blowing up.
No, look, it's blown over. It's gone. What could it have been?
A smudge from a steel factory chimney?
I wonder where it's bound for. Like anybody would ever wonder where a cloud was going. Dr. Fate is bound for the region of the Styx.
We stand among the dead, and here comes the boatman of the Styx.
You two are living people. Only the dead may enter here.
I am Fate. I go where I will. Open your boat to me. Let me to come, or I cremate you and your crew.
Enter the boat. Doctor can go where he will.
Off to the regions of the dead.
I didn't even hear about half of what you said in that last dialogue. I don't know if that was intentional or what.
That's probably because the microphone's not picking it up very well.
Fate, who can go anywhere he will.
All right.
The raspy dead. They've got no lungs. Come on.
Come, Inza.
The wanderers stand before the gates of iron.
This is the first of the 7 gates to the regions of dead souls. I know they are. Iron, copper, silver, gold, the unknown gray metal, alabaster.
The 7th gate. The Emerald Portal. Oh, they just went through them all and we just left them. Okay.
This is the gate of pursuit, of purest emerald. Beyond it, we meet the gods of old. I'm frightened, Dr. Fate. This is the stair of judgment. At the top is wisdom, who rules the world. Where do we go? Up. Will we go up that staircase?
Onward and onward into the blinding light. in search for evil Wotan in the dead world. Whence come ye? What seek ye?
We search for the soul of a dead man. Have you seen it, ruler of the dead?
You speak of Wotan. He is not here, but I shall show you him. Look.
We hear, we look.
Wisdom enables Dr. Fate to see Wotan.
Wotan, alive!
Dr. Fate hurries away to find Wotan. The fate of the world depends on you who are called Fate. Wotan must be stopped. Back the rocky path they came, go Fate and Inza.
Faster, faster! The upper world again. How warm and jolly after those cold underworld regions. I don't know where we are, but we were dropped here for a reason. The ground shaking, earthquake. Oh! No, this is no earthquake. This is Wotan's doing. Wotan has stumbled on some vast secret of nature. How to increase the electric and magnetic flow between the poles. I'll bathe the ground with energy. What does it mean about the poles? Wotan, by increasing the electrical flow, can explode the Earth just as an extra load on an electric wire blows a fuse. Interesting science, Sarah.
I suppose.
That madman will blow the planet to smithereens. I must find him and stop him.
I shall put my experiment to the test before I actually blow up the world. These rods represent the poles of the Earth. I shall increase the current among their arcs tremendously. When I pull this lever, the globe will explode under too much pressure.
The globe explodes. I figure if I'm going to be Dr. Obvious, why not?
Yeah.
The demented scientist intends to blow up the Earth even as he did the globe.
Thus ends the Earth.
Meanwhile, Dr. Fate searches even the mountain peaks for Wotan.
I must commune with the elder intellects to learn where Wotan is.
Magically, a giant eagle appears to Dr. Fate. Of course it does.
Follow me, Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
Ahead of you is the home of Wotan. You must destroy him. He has gone mad.
In a secluded house, Wotan prepares for his great experiment.
I shall be revenged on Dr. Fate. I shall increase the magnetic force between the poles, and the entire Earth shall blow up under the strain. Thus Dr. Fate shall die, and the world be no more, destroyed by me, Wotan the Wonderful.
Yeah, but here's what I would be asking though.
Where's he going?
Yeah, exactly. Where does if he destroys the world? Well, he's on the world too. Where does he expect to go?
Exactly. Fate takes to the air in search.
Look there. that house, that green light coming from it. Green light. We get more green light.
More green light. Flaring up all the time. Wotan's Home by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I'll blast his house from over his head, then come to grips with him at last.
He didn't have a shack. He's got a Frank Lloyd Wright house on top of a mountain. Come on, Wotan, you're living the good life.
What? My house? It's Dr. Fate.
It is I, Wotan. I come to demand a last accounting from you.
No, you can't stop me now.
The mad genius Wotan is about to blow up the world.
For years you stopped me in my pursuits of evil, always balking me. Now I win, and I destroy the world and you.
No, no.
Wotan pulls the lever.
I win. The earth blows up. Nothing happened. There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Maybe we're dead. Nothing happened, Wotan, because I bathed your machine with energy from my body while you were raving about your vengeance. You tried an experiment this afternoon on a bit of ground where Inza and I stood. I too experimented with my source, source of power, and found I could control yours. I've wanted to manhandle you for a long time. This is for the world you would have tossed into space to satisfy your vanity. I must chain Wotan to the earth as Prometheus was chained to a rock.
Well, that's kind of harsh because Prometheus wasn't just chained to a rock, but he had an eagle come and eat his liver every day, and it would grow back. Wotan, in a magical trance, is encased for eternity in an air bubble and hidden beneath the earth. He would have destroyed.
Kind of funny that thing that he's drinking. I'm guessing it's some kind of sheet or something like that. The thing almost looks something like, because it's green and so it looks more like some kind of ooze covering or something.
Yeah.
Smell that air. How good it is. And Wotan would have destroyed all beauty just to revenge and his pride. I'm sorry. Would have destroyed all this beauty just to gain revenge and satisfy his pride. Thus, let him rest for all time to come, unable to harm a fly.
Don't miss the further adventures of Dr. Fate in next month's More Fun Comics. It's just fun comics. I'm not going to have more fun, just fun.
Right.
Some fun comics.
All right. Well, RJ, overall impressions of that story.
Again, magic user. This one was weaker. Weaker stories. Was not as good as the other three.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just simply you or you and at least one other person, because I know I've heard that quite a bit. The magician stories are weaker. I don't know if that's just you or you and one of the other guys are saying.
Because there's no rules coming up with
podcast. Actually been talking about that too. That the magic user stories are a little bit weaker. All right, so now we're going to get into Congo Bill here. We're going to, we'll go back up and do his story and this one, and then do the one from 57 as well, because they're kind of connected, because kind of a two-parter basically. But still, basically six featured until, even though one of them's kind of one 12-page story in essence at the end here. So whether you want to call it 5 stories or 6.
All right, you passed it. Hostile eyes watch a small motor launch lying at anchor in the Congo River. Aboard it are Professor Kent, who is searching for ancient ruins said to be in the heart of Africa, Congo Bill, who is acting as the professor's guide, and Toto, a Bantu native, not to mention Haji and young Johnny Quest. The professor and Bill are talking in the ship's cabin. So who's who?
Well, okay. So the guy on the right there, I think, is Joe Kent, and the guy on the left is Congo Bill. You wanna be Congo Bill, or shall I?
I'll take Congo Bill. I don't care.
All right, I'll go with Joe Kent then. Then you do think that the stories of an ancient city existing in the interior might be true, Bill?
Yes, Prof, I do. I've lived in Africa all my life, and I've seen and heard of so many weird things that nothing would surprise me. But right now, I'm worried. It's too quiet along the Congo tonight. Something is brewing. I hope Toto keeps a sharp lookout above. At that moment, a figure steps out on the riverbank. And Toto slumps to the deck. Dead. He's not in Kansas anymore. Toto's death is the signal for the attack. Howling savages line the banks and hurl flaming spears at the boat.
There's natives at the shore attacking us. We're on fire, Bill.
We'd better get out of here. Come on, deck. Hurry, Prof. We'll get under this barrel and try to float downstream.
Look, they got poor Toto.
The barrel floats unnoticed by the savages when suddenly the flames of the drums of gasoline stored in the ship. Boom. Oh, now there's no barrel left. Yeah, they're okay. They are spotted by the natives. Get away, Prof. I'll try to hold them off. A huge black ends Bill's struggle. It's a hammer, not a black. Oh, wait. And the pair are dragged ashore.
You come with us.
Don't put up any fuss, Prof. The natives and their 2 captives march all night along the winding banks of the Congo. At dawn, they turn into the jungle. In a short time, they reach a great clearing. Look, Prof, Lost City.
Wait, I bring Great Chief.
Oh.
The skull. That's the skull. Ah, Professor Kent and Congo Bill. Welcome. Native drums foretold your arrival. Untie them, One Eye. Perhaps you've heard of me. The stupid police call me the Skull, but they will never find me here. A friend who later met with a most unfortunate accident told me of this place. I'm excavating it for whatever loot I can find. My 2 cronies here keep the natives digging. When they get too lazy, One Eye whips them, and if they forget who's their master, Slaps shoots them. But we need your help, Professor. You're an archaeologist, but whatever treasures you find belong to the government. I'll not help you steal. The government be hanged. Whatever I find will be mine. And you'll do as I say, or else.
For a moment, Congo Bill sees red. Why, you cheap crook, I'll...
Don't, Bill. Oh, that's done it.
One Eye cracks the butt of his gun down on Bill's head.
You meddling fool! Lock them up in the temple. We'll attend to them later.
The two men are thrown into a dark, damp chamber.
Bill, are you all right?
Yeah, guess so. Got quite a bump, though. We've got to find a way out of here. There's no telling what that fiend will do to us.
You just sit here and rest. Let me look around.
The professor makes a discovery.
Bill, come here. I found a loose stone in the wall. Look, it's hollow behind it.
It's a tunnel. Take out more stones so we can crawl in. The hole is made larger, and finally the two men enter the tunnel. There's a chamber up ahead. It's the treasures that the skull is searching for. You stay here, Professor, while I see where the tunnel leads to. What's over there? Ah, a door.
You two give the professor a taste of the whip. He's got to help us.
Uh-oh, the skull's headquarters. Bill leaps into action. This will hold you two, vultures. Then, quick as a flash, he snatches the pistol from the skull's holster. You do as I say, or I'll blast you. Prompted by Bill, the skull orders the natives to carry the treasure chest from the tunnel to his own motor launch. The criminal is furious at the sudden turn of events.
Someday we will meet again, Congo Bill, and that day will be your last.
Once the chests are safely aboard, the professor starts the motor. Bill marches the skull toward the launch. But in the meantime, Slats comes too.
Oh, my head.
Finding no one about, he walks toward the river. When he sees Bill forcing the skull into the boat, he rushes forward, firing madly. One of the shots strikes Bill's gun.
Ah! You thought you'd get away.
The skull draws a massive dagger and leaps. I'm sorry I can't have the pleasure of your company, Skull. Maybe next time. Let her go, Prof. We're off. Doggone it, Prof. I thought we were gonna collect the reward money for the skull's capture.
Don't worry, Bill. The government will reward us plenty for the contents of these chests. All right, so that's the end of part one there. So we'll go to part two of the story here in 57. With Spectre, of course, on the cover. You got also Dr. Fate in the header right there. And this, of course, will be this Congo Bill story will be the last story we do tonight. Let's see where are we at on time here. I think we're getting close to 2.5 hours, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're at 2:20. So, As I said, probably by the time we get through the story and some of and some of the and the this day and age history and commentary stuff here, it'll be like we'll be getting close to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's what All Star Comics #1 looks like, by the way. It was started out as as kind of a super anthology. It had some of the much like Wolf Finest did in Comics Cavalcade, and then eventually they made All Star Comics into the Justice Society team up feature, quarterly feature. And there we go. There's Congo Bill again.
Okay. Congo Bill and Professor Kent have escaped from the clutches of that fiendish criminal known as the Skull and are now sailing back to civilization. Aboard the small motorboat are the priceless relics that the two men discovered in an ancient city hidden in the heart of Africa. Are you still admiring that stuff, Prof?
What's that? Oh, yes, Bill. Yes, I still am. Let's see. These relics must be worth $1 million. No wonder the Skull was willing to murder to regain them.
I wonder if he'll try to follow us. Suddenly, the motor coughs, spits, and dies out. Take the wheel, Prof, and work her into the shore. I'll look over the motor. An hour later, Bill emerges from the cabin. There's still a few minutes' work to be done on it, but I'm starved. What's on the menu?
Well, let's see. There's pork and beans. That's a good combo.
I'm sick of pork and beans. I'm going to dig up some fresh meat, even if it takes an afternoon. You keep watch and fire 2 shots in an emergency. Adios, Prof.
See if you can kill a wild pig. Then we can have fresh pork and beans.
None of the canned stuff for us anymore. Get us fresh stuff. See if you can harvest some beans while you're on shore, too. 2 hours later.
Bill just said he was tired of pork and beans, and the prof asked him, "Can you get some more pork and beans?"
Yeah. Not a sign of game anywhere. Guess I'll turn back. Looks like it's pork and beans for meat. What's that?
All right. Ew!
Someone is in trouble. A chimp, all knotted up by a boa constrictor. Hang on, old boy. I'll have you out of there in a jiffy. Come on, chimp. Untangle yourself and get some air. Congo Bill heads towards the boat, and the chimpanzee follows. So I'm going to have some company, eh, pal? Maybe you could tell me where the hunting is good. And as is often the case in the jungles of Africa, the hunters are the hunted. A hungry lioness stalks the pair. Suddenly, the lioness leaps, but the chimp, seeing the hurtling animal in time, knocks Bill out of her path. As Bill lies dazed against a rock, the great cat resumes her attack. Again, the ape springs into action. Running in back of the advancing beast, he bites her tail. With a scream of rage, the lioness turns on the ape. Whoa, what happened? Oh my gosh, the chimp is taking on cats now. Quick as a flash, he draws and fires. I hereby christen you O'Toole, because you have the spunk of the Irish. 2 shots. The professor's in trouble.
Bang! Bang!
Yeah, 2 shots. The professor's in trouble. Congo Bill fights his way through the thick underbrush. Golly, I hope the prof is okay. O'Toole travels via the trees. The sight that greets Bill upon reaching the riverbanks freezes the blood in his veins. It's the Skull. He came down the river in a native dugout and overpowered the professor. Evidently, he couldn't start the engine, so he's having the blacks tow him back up the river. I've got to get back on that boat somehow. Let me see. I couldn't swim because the river is infested with crocodiles. I've got it. There's a tree upstream that overhangs the river. Bill races to the tree and climbs it. There, he awaits the arrival of the motor launch. It's going to pass directly beneath me. Now for a surprise party. But his foot catches in a coil of rope, and he is thrown off balance.
Congo Bill, I'm glad you dropped in. So very glad.
Listen, you walking graveyard, what did you do at the prof?
Walking graveyard. That's a very interesting insult, huh? The professor is securely bound within the cabin. Now that I have the treasure, I don't see why I should kill him. But you have interfered with me too often. I shall kill you right now.
Sitting high in a nearby tree, O'Toole senses his friend's peril. He grabs a dangling vine and swings over the river. A pair of hairy legs whip about the skull and lift him clear of the deck.
Look at the skull's face right there as that's happening.
Yeah. Hey, what the? Yeah. The criminal is suspended close to the snapping jaws of hungry crocodiles.
Help! What's got me? Let me go. No. Don't drop me. I've seen
Boy, O'Toole.
time and time again in a cartoon. They ask you to let him go or drop him, and then they realize, never mind, don't drop me.
Yeah. Boy, O'Toole, don't be monsieur. The skull is deposited on the riverbank with a crash. O'Toole swings back on deck. O'Toole, you're a hero. But suppose we stop saving one another's life and untie the professor. Prof, meet O'Toole. O'Toole, this is Professor Kent. You'll get used to him.
I'm very pleased to meet you. I think that this is a start of a beautiful friendship between us. Eek!
Bill soon has the engine repaired. Everything is okay, Prof. Now suppose we give the natives towing us a thrill.
Good.
With Bill behind the wheel, the launch speeds by the startled blacks. The tow line snaps, and then, chuckling to himself, the professor unties the bowline.
Serves the devil's right. All clear, Bill. Let her rip.
Goodbye, boys. I hope those headdresses of yours are pre-shrunk.
I hope that was our last meeting with the skull, Bill.
I have a hunch that it wasn't. But with O'Toole on our side, he hadn't a chance. Now, how about the pork and beans?
All right, so there we go. So that was the last story of the night. So overall impressions of that story.
That one was a story. I like that one. That was good. It kept building the plot up. Wasn't anything just pulled out of the air. We got to meet a new character, which sort of ties into the future origin for Congo Bill and Congorilla. He saves a golden gorilla's life, and he's magically allowed the ability to. It's a magical golden gorilla. He can change bodies with it whenever he wants.
Yeah, and I think Congo Bill, if I understand, is actually he may have been another one of the Earth One characters It actually debuted back in the Golden Age, because I know the other one was Slam Bradley. They commented how Slam Bradley, even though he debuted in the Golden Age, and of course, Detective Comics #1 back in 1937, he was actually later, they said he was actually a native of Earth 1 instead, and not Earth 2, like many of the other Golden Age characters of the time. I think Congo Bill was another one that was actually based on Earth 1 as well. What's your take on what I just said?
It's been so long since I've read Congo Bill. I really can't remember what the 80s origin version of him was, but it was weird.
Well, I do know he did have, I think, a appearance or two in some Superman stories as well. So,
he did. The Superman with the Forgotten Heroes. It was Congo Bill and Congorilla and Dolphin.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that was 6 stories we got through. I guess depending upon how you want to count the Congo Bill, if you want to count it as 2 separate or one story altogether. So 5, depending on how you count it, 5 or 6 stories right there. So now we've gone through all the individual stories. Now, of course, time to kind of go over the selection as a whole. Of the 5-6 stories that we went through tonight, which one would you say is the one you like the most, and why?
It's a good question. The Batman one I like because I like the Charlie.
Tonight, huh?
Yeah, I like the Batman one because of the Charlie Chan sort of mystery aspect of it. But I think I think it was probably the Whip. The Whip's got a longer plot going to it. There's another part that we got to yet read, but I think it was a better story.
Yeah. All right. So the Whip story with El Castigo, that's the one you like the most. All right.
Yeah, I'm done with that one.
And and I have a feeling I already know which one you're going to probably say, but I guess I'll just ask it anyways. Which story did you like the least?
Got to be the Dr. Fate story. It's just like whatever throws against the wall is like, well, this is the first of 7 walls.
Throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks, right?
Yeah. This is the first of 7 gates we must pass. Next panel. Okay, there's the 7th gate. Like, really? There were like no trials, no tests. You just walked through gates. Okay, fine. Why even mention it?
All right. All right. Well, with that, so now we're just past 2.5 hour mark. So what we're going to do now, of course, is we're going to move on to the basically the last portion of this show before we kind of wrap things up. Of course, with today being Sunday, March the 2nd, 2025. Let's take a look back at this weekend in neat history. History! Oh. First, I'm going to look back to yesterday. First back, we're going to go back 100 years ago yesterday. 100 years ago yesterday is on yesterday's date 100 years ago, back in 1925. Pat Sullivan's Felix Gets His Fill premiered in theaters on yesterday's date, back in 1925. Of course, it was a silent cartoon at that time. Sound didn't start coming in. Basically, Dinner Time was the first sound cartoon in 1928. But in this Felix the Cat cartoon, Felix, hungry and looking for a meal, hears that food is plentiful down south and decides to check it out. He finds out that the Cotton Association pays for cotton and chicken dinners. So he proceeds to go and pick cotton, only to get in trouble when he mistakes an old man's beard for a cotton plant.
Easy to do.
Yeah. Especially somebody like Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now, now let's move on to the next piece of niche history from yesterday. As we move all the way ahead to 2006, which was 19 years ago yesterday. As in 2006, 19 years ago yesterday, the 40th issue of Aquaman Sword of Atlantis. This started out as volume 6 of Aquaman, and then at issue 40, at this very issue, became Aquaman Sword of Atlantis. On this date, the 40th issue of Aquaman Sword of Atlantis went on sale in newsstands in DC. It sold for $2.99 with 32 pages. The story was The Once and Future, written by Kurt Busiek, with art by Jackson Guise, lettered by Todd Klein, and Daniel Brown doing the coloring. So the 40th issue of Aquaman Sword of Atlantis went on sale on yesterday's date, 19 years ago, back in 2006. Moving on to today's date. A couple of things from today's date. Let's see. On this date, 40 years ago today, back in 1985, 40 years ago, back in 1985, Nippon Sunrise's Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam premiered in Japan on this date 40 years ago today. So 40 years ago today, Nippon Sunrise's Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, part of the Mobile Suit Gundam franchise, premiered on Japanese television, most notably Nagoya Broadcasting Network and its sister A&N stations. In Japan, it aired from 1985 to 1986. It was part of the Universal Century timeline. So there we go with that. And then finally, on this date, 10 years ago today, 2015. So I bring that up. WWE held its Monday Night Raw event from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Of course, among the other things going on that night, including the matches that we'll get into a little bit here, Alundra Blaze was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame on this date 10 years ago. Alundra Blaze, also known as Medusa Miceli, in some promotions. The main event saw Seth Rollins defeat Roman Reigns. Daniel Bryan defeated Luke Harper via submission. In a match for the WWE Divas Championship, Nikki Bella was able to retain via DQ loss, Paige defeating her in that. John Cena defeated Curtis Axel via DQ. And the opening match saw Dean Ambrose defeat Bad News Barrett. So there we go with that. So with that, I do thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Before we do leave, of course, I want to give RJ, of course, a chance if he'd like to promote anything he's doing, share any links, maybe tell us what plans are in the near future for Critical Blast. I think you know the shtick right there, RJ.
Well, the shtick is that we are publishing so many books and distributing so many projects that we have shut down our YouTube channel. It's still going to be there. We are not doing any shows for the foreseeable future. So, we regret that we cannot get in and promote your books the way we used to in the past. There's just not time for it anymore. We're just way too busy and way too swamped. So that may change in a year. I may change from a Friday night to sort of maybe a Wednesday night. The Friday night I thought was going to be a decent deal, but not so much. No. Wednesday might just be better. Something in the middle of the week. But we will announce when we're ready to start putting shows out again. So just watch our X account, and if you have a book that you'd like to promote, let us know. We'll let you know we're open.
I know you and I talked about it more, in communication in private, but I was under the impression you were just shutting down the channel entirely. You were like
Oh no, there's too much content on it there for people that still want to go back and look at it. The channel's going to be there. We're just not going to be doing any more active shows. We got one scheduled in March, and that's the last one we've got scheduled. So we're moving forward with that, and that's it.
All right. Yeah, and I understand the Friday thing, because even Friday, the thing about Fridays is, I think not a lot of people are going to want to stay home on Friday. Usually that's the end of the work week, so people want to go out and party and all that. So it's like, I still do my shows, of course, because, I'm more of a news commentary show anyway. So even if people aren't watching it live, which I would naturally prefer, people can still go back and watch the stuff. Like this past Friday is part of the news coverage I did. One of the things I covered was some of the forgotten characters from Looney Tunes. Characters like Foxy and Goopy Gear and Beans the Cat. So, but with that, anything more you'd like to add before we wrap up here?
That's it. I'm ready to call it a night. My throat is paid the price.
All right. Well, if you don't mind just sticking around for a couple minutes for post-show stuff afterward, just a couple, stuff to, that'd be appreciated. So with that, then, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. And of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night with more niche news and all that. And also next week, Rick Piper will be joining me as we'll be looking at comics. We'll be continuing our coverage of May of 1940. Next week, we'll be covering Marvel Comics, and I believe we'll still have some more of the, if I remember correctly, I think we'll still have some more of the first ever Submariner Human Torch crossover. So you're going to probably want to catch that next week. I'll have to double check that and make absolutely sure of that. But I thank everybody for being here, and I hope you all enjoyed the show. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.